The Hood is a feature film that we have been taking on this semester and making for my senior project. This was an idea that was in my head since freshman year. I wrote a scene for like a script writing class. I thought it was a good idea, but I didn't do anything with it. Always thought it would be good to do something with it in the future, but there just never was an opportunity. It was my friend Jared who I had told the idea to, and he was getting excited about it, so just whenever we had a free moment, we were talking about the idea. We were talking about, what could happen, just trying to build this universe.
Drew and I were sitting down and we were talking about this idea. Okay, let's just make it a superhero movie. And so that's when we kind of got into the idea of like superpowers, what do they do, what do they have, how do they get them?
We didn't want to just do any kind of typical superhero movie. We wanted to be unique and be creative with it.
We went through a lot of stages where we were really confused on what we were doing because we had all these ideas and we were trying to get them all to fit together.
I had an idea of telling this story from other people's perspectives instead of the character, so the character is more of the subject of the matter.
The first time he told me, I was just sitting there, I'm like, okay, so we're making the next Batman. That's not in the case at all.
Drew and I have had a few classes together over the course of our college career, and we actually competed against each other in a high school film festival a long, long time ago. But we never really got to know each other. It was just we were aware of each other. Getting towards the end of our college careers, we are together in ethics class, and he's like, hey, we should work on something. It's like, oh yeah, of course.
An opportunity arose when our professor, Bob Muggy, was into the idea, and he was going to offer us a class as well as an independent study on top of that to do the film. But the catch was it had to be an hour.
I suppose we may or may not have known what we were getting ourselves into.
Doing an hour film in a semester is quite a task because we had to not only come up with the idea, write the script, film it, and edit it all in a semester's time. And that's just not easy.
Once we finally got to this stage and we had a script, or at least we thought we did, it came down to we had shot a scene already and it looked great. We decided it's time to go a whole new direction. And we had to film in a week. We were gonna start filming in a week or something like that. And so we just sat down, and I remember the night we just in just a couple of hours had a whole new story laid out. And then we broke that night, and then in a week basically we had this 50 page script together.
The biggest challenge for maybe any production, or at least for me, is the scheduling and that side of things. So it's hard enough to schedule such a huge project that involves so many people as a film anyway, but then on top of that, all of these people have classes, they have plays, they have their lives, they have all kinds of things they need to be doing, and we need to suck every last minute from them that we can get.
Let me reiterate here. We are college students, meaning we have no budget. We are in Muncie. All of that against us. We had to spend lots of money out of pocket. I think we've all aged a ton because it's killing us.
We're crazy people, apparently, and we can't just make a nice drama with lots of, character interactions and conversations. We need to have fight scenes and visual effects and all kinds of fancy special stuff.
We started shooting in February technically, but it was at the beginning of March when we got into heavy production.
Almost every day we were doing something. There was almost no day off, and when we did have a day off, if I wasn't doing something, Bobby was working on some sort of editing, or Drew was working on some sort of editing, and or scheduling or something. It was constantly happening, and we had many times where a challenge would come up, or we would sit down and look at the task ahead, and we would realize, holy crap, this may not work.
So for post, it would we had kind of a crazy workflow worked out. Drew would edit, get it cut to time, send the the editor file to me. I would send it into After Effects, round trip it, in fact, so that we wouldn't be re-rendering and potentially losing any data. So we would do all the visual effects. It would go back in. Concurrently, he could work on the audio in the original file, and then now, in the end, we'll stitch them all together, mostly flawlessly. I
was sitting down watching the film on my computer screen, and I was thinking, beginning of this semester, we were sitting in this room trying to dream up this movie, and now I'm just sitting and watching it on my computer nonchalant.
Drew just kind of kept pushing for like getting everything just done and making sure everything worked out.
But we have been heavily editing right now, pulling all-nighters, just to get this thing done, and it's amazing that we got it done. I can't even, this was so daunting, but it's so rewarding at the same time.
This has been one of the bigger undertakings that I've done to date, and I still am in absolute shock that we're on track to get it done in a single semester. I just absolutely believe that I'll wake up tomorrow and be like, oh guys, we forgot half the script that everyone has forgot about. But so far so good.
Overall experience has been absolutely wonderful. I've been wanting to do this type of film ever since I was little. It's just always a film I have been scared to do because I was always afraid it was going to be lame. But this is so far from lame. It's spectacular, and when you see the footage, when you see the film, you'll understand what I mean. It's great when you're in a group of people who are so dedicated and talented at the same time. So.